Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast Morning Market Roundup with Chip Nellinger. Chip, man, about an hour and a half after we talked yesterday, the U.S. and Mexico seemed to strike some sort of deal when it came to two-thirds of NAFTA, and it sounds like the Canadians are coming back to the table to finish some more talks. But you never know if any of this stuff is true until it actually happens. So, how's it affecting the market? What do you see out there?
It's been kind of hinted at and rumored for a long time, that the talks between the United States and Mexico were going very well. Canada was dragging their feet, and, probably to their detriment now, because it sounds like we have an agreement with or without Canada. It definitely was a little bit disappointing that when that news came out, it stabilized the corn market. But, Mexico is a massive buyer of U.S. corn, and as well as other things, meal, pork, just numerous dozens of agricultural products. Mexico's massive, massive buyer. So it was a little disappointing, the reaction in the grain markets, quite honestly, and it just goes to show you how bearish particularly the bean market is, with that big pro-farmer yield number of 53, some rains around here, last half of August, likely helping bean yields even more. It's just such a bearish tone right now in the grain market. Now, we did at least stabilize in the overnight. Corn's up a half, wheat's up a penny or so. Beans are down just a touch, about a penny. So we're at least stabilized here. It had a tremendous immediate impact on the livestock markets. It shot hogs limit up for a period of time. Cattle were lower off of a bearish cattle on feed report, and they reversed and they approached limit up at one point, closed a couple dollars higher. Feeders were sharply higher. I think they closed over $3 higher. And so it had an immediate impact on the livestock markets, a little bit muted in the grains. It may be a case that the market is still a little bit questioning, kind of like you said right there. How is this? Is this because with the talk was we're going to tear up NAFTA and Canada can come to the table or not come to the table and forget them if they don't. But we've got an agreement with Mexico, so nobody's quite sure how this is going to go yet. But it sounds like it's a done deal. I mean, it was announced by Mexico. It was announced by President Trump and other trade officials. I mean, it's a done deal as far as the United States and Mexico goes. That's a very good thing longer term. Now the market looks ahead and says, hey, we need to get the same result with China. That might be a little bit of a tougher road to hoe. It might take a little while. And unfortunately, we talked about this before. We're just in that period of time now, couple 2.5 weeks until the September crop report comes out. Not much news, barring a trade deal. It's just kind of that dead spot of summer, right ahead of harvest. There's some early harvest starting, and that's just a tough position for the grain markets to be in, because there's no reason right now to put much of a rally in other than just little dead cat bounces. So saw some stability in the overnight. Hopefully we can have a little bit of a bounce. Good news longer term that the Mexico deal's done. We need some progress on China. We need to get this September crop report out and get the market the latest updates on what the USDA is thinking on yields. That's still a couple weeks away on the 12th.
Okay. So looks like what's the best way to describe? I mean, if Canada comes in and then they all kind of get together and have one sing kumbaya together and everyone starts getting along again. I mean, do you see much change in the markets because of that? I mean, especially the grain markets. I mean, you see much change in that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainty. Anytime there's some uncertainty or questions, any market doesn't take it very well. So I think it would help add certainty, but I don't know that it changes the equation much, because the way I read it, and I think everyone else reads it, is at least from an ag specific standpoint. I'm talking just ag specific. The good part is Mexico, is such a massive buyer of U.S. ag products, and it does sound like Canada or no Canada, that's a done deal. I mean, we're going to proceed with that, with or other industries. Obviously, there are some other specific industries that are important to get Canadian trade, back to normal. But from an specific standpoint in the markets, grain markets, yeah, I think that this is a good, a good starting point, and it won't have much more of an impact if and when Canada comes to the table, because that was the main concern, especially at the corn market, that got to get this Mexico thing figured out, because it's just massive amounts of corn that they import from us.
Right on. All right, Chip. Well, there's always time to look at your marketing plan, especially going into harvest like this and towards the end of the year. If guys wanted to learn a little more about what you guys do at Blue Reef, how would they do it?
Yeah, just give us a call at the office, 309-550-7213. I'll say real quick, too, I'm on en route here. I'm not driving right now, obviously, don't get scared. But I'm en route to the Farm Progress Show. Uh-huh. And, if anybody listens to this and you're there, respond to the tweet or tweet it out, and, we'll hook up over there. I'd love to meet you and talk to you. But best way is call our office. That's 309-550-7213.
All right, Chip. Hey, we'll have safe travels. We'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Casey.
Thanks, man. See ya.